try to get things done before I go live. At least make myself look presentable. Let's see. I saw earlier. You know what? Let me try to see if I can make this bigger because yeah, this is crazy. Let me, yeah. Let's just zoom in a little bit so I can see things without having to lean into seeing what the comments were. Yeah, I saw Froggy's comment about pulling dinner out. And Deborah's here. And Carol. And Tracy. Long time no see, Deborah, from Tracy. You guys both must have been watching someone else's live, huh? Let's see. And Sharon. There have been times when I've gone back and I watched the replay on some of the people that I follow. I've seen Sharon in, which one was it? Was it Dina, Kelly, Barb? One of them. Oh yeah, all those cards. Yeah, all those cards that Becky was asking for. Who's your upline, Tracy? Dina, yeah, yep, probably Dina. A lot of times it's like, she goes live at 5, and a lot of times I'm trying to do something so I don't really catch the live, or sometimes she's already started, and then what I do is I kind of rewind it all the way back to the beginning. Embossing folder. Oh, okay. All right, so let me put this on live chat instead of, top chat. So, hey everybody. Um, oh, yes, speaking of, if Terry's talking about it, got my Fall Y'all card um, from Deborah, and it's very, very pretty. I love it. So what'd you do, Deborah? Did you emboss it first and then color it? Or did you color the embossing folder? How'd you do it? It's very pretty. I really like it. May have to case it. I did some cards with orange and some in blue. I like this. It's definitely fall. I like it. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff, guys. I mean, this past week, oh my word. It was, this whole week it's like 5 videos, including tonight's live and tomorrow. So Sunday, um, yes, she's not on here. I don't see her here. So it turned out, okay, emboss first, straggling pad across the next, then kind of water. Okay. So it turned out Yvonne had brought over her paper pumpkin kit, the Fall for Tall one. Yeah. Uh, Going to the post office, and of course, when I don't see a slip in my box that says I got something to pick up, I think my paper pumpkin is lost. So it turned out, what day was it? Thursday? When I went in there, there was no line, and I asked, and guess what they had? They had my paper pumpkin kit. And of course, I said there was no slip, and then she said something about UPS dropping it off and it being busy, and I don't get it. I really don't. But Yeah, just prior to that, I went and called Stampin' Up, and now there's another one on its way. So that one that evidently did get delivered, that is now Yvonne's because I used her kit. So I got that video done on Sunday. Then on Wednesday, it was, well, first it was the newsletter, and the newsletter was bigger than it usually is because there's a lot more stuff in there. Then I ended up doing my monthly Christmas, yeah, the monthly Christmas card inspiration. For some reason, with that stamp set, I thought the projects were going to be a little bit easier to come up with and took a little bit longer. So by the time I got done with filming that and posting it, it was after midnight. And then the same thing happened with Thursday for Throwback Thursday. Instead of it posting at 5 a.m., yeah, it was after midnight by the time I got it done, but I got it done. And then, like I've said, why do I do this to myself where I'm working and creating the projects for my Friday Night Live on a Friday? That's not, I shouldn't be doing that. But I got them done. And yeah, come to find out after I chose this suite to do my Friday Night Live with, which is usually current product. Technically, it still is. Yeah, found out that now this is on. Hello, Becky. Um, Turns out that this suite is now on the last chance list. So when they came out with the new stuff that was added to it, that was on the first two. So yeah, so what we're using tonight is Last Chance. As a matter of fact, what I used for my Throwback Thursday, that Inspiration Squad, yeah, turns out that's on the Last Chance list too. Now, when I flipped and before we get started, it is, what do you call it, on Last Chance, but there's some items in here, if not all, I'm gonna bring it up that that are marked down as well. I know the embellishments are like $2 less. I think the ribbon on it, but I'll look, as I go through, all the stuffs. Then it's like, okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna be going I'm gonna be going live at 6 p.m. Excuse me. Um, oh, that's awesome. That's cool, Becky. Um, so anyway, I am going to go live tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Time, and I will be together, putting together the handmade and heartfelt kit. Same one that Stampin' Up is going to be working with. So what's nice about this, everything's pre-cut and all that, so I don't have to do anything with this other than put it together. So this is what I'm going to do tomorrow night. Now, because there's all this stuff going on, tomorrow I have to clean the church in the morning. Um, I would have liked to have done an in-person event. However, not only that, as far as that factor goes, but Yvonne is not going to be here for a couple of weeks because her hubby had knee replacement surgery on Wednesday, and she said that everything went well. So, yeah, so she wouldn't have been here. So I probably would have had nobody coming for card making day. So I decided I'll just go live and I'll put that kit together. Now, the registration for that event did close at 2 p.m. No Mountain Time today. So if you weren't able to get registered, it's now too late. Yeah, and what's really surprising, she said that they live above a garage, so there's a flight of stairs. She said that he did pretty well going up the stairs, and and there wasn't a lot of pain either. So that's good. Uh, One thing I want to do really quick. Hold on. Um, I have to want to quickly go and set my alarm while I'm thinking of it. Very easy to do. Just click on that. But yeah, so it didn't make sense to, as far as an in-person class, I said that I was doing something. I even mentioned it in my newsletter and nobody reached out. So the same thing as far as that, what is it? Peaceful Garden. Is that sweet? Yeah, yeah, that's true, Deborah. I mean, even like if you're having a baby, I think they send you home like the next day. I mean, for me personally, it was what, I was there for a couple of days at least, but yeah, now it's like you have that baby, we're booting you out, booting you both out. Um, okay, so that's that. So what else? What else? What else? What else? Um, yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and then I think this this weekend too, I'm gonna get myself ahead of the game, and I'm going to get the things done for next week. Now, next week is just 2 videos, but I do want to get well ahead of the game. I already know work-wise it's going to be busy, so I'm not going to have really, by the time I'm done working, um, yeah, I can't be up till like midnight and all that trying to figure out what I'm going to do as far as my projects go. Froggy, I still have your card that you had won. Let me close that. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Yeah, I just missed a whole bunch of comments. So your card, I did hold off on what do you call it? Um, get well cards for Don. Yeah, Don likes the cards. Yeah, I have your card set aside. It's ready to mail soon as they get their act together. I did see something before I went live. Well, it was on my phone, like at these like notifications, and there was something about with the postal service here that I guess normally they would jack up the rate on the postage stamps in January. However, that's been pushed to more like mid-year next year. And it said something about that the increase was going to be like 1.3%. Um, so it's, yeah, prices go up, service goes down. But so yeah, I saw that. And what else? I think Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all that's really been happening here. I mean, it's fall. It don't feel like fall. 80s, 90s. No. Yeah, but they're not going to increase what do you call it? What do you call it? What am I saying? Squirrel. Squirrel, that's what happens. Yeah, the postage increase isn't going to happen until like mid-year next year. So, yeah. All right. So let me go ahead and flip this thing. And I have some stuff to show you, some things that are happening, coming up. Like I said, there was a whole lot of stuff that I ended up adding into my newsletter. So let me figure out where I'm putting things here so I can flip this. So let me do that. Out. Okay. Make sure this is like pulled out. Come down a little bit. And hopefully we won't get this whole like focusing in and out thing going on. So some things to tell you about. So again, the World Card Making Day event, that registration had closed at 2 p.m. Mountain Time today. So can't register for it now. This is the kit that Stampin' Up! Is going to be working with. It came out in the kits collection at the beginning of September. It's still available. I don't think for cards. No, not for a card, Terry, because you're using like an international postage stamp on that. It's packages. I can tell you that I mailed something to someone in Australia, and it was just a magazine, and it was one of those large envelopes. I kid you not. It cost like $40 to mail it, and that was not expedited either. So, yeah, when you send like any packages, um, yeah, it would. Yeah, I would see it being packages, but not a card because I can tell you, hey, I send both of you, Froggy and Carol. I send you cards, and all I do is put an international stamp on there. I don't know what it costs now. It's a dollar something. I know it's less than $2. So yeah, for a card, yeah, you just need that stamp and that's it. So it's not too bad in that case. Like I said, it's the packages. That's when the price is a little ridiculous. So, um, but again, on this, this is what I'm going to be putting together tomorrow night. I'm going to do the box, the holder and all 10 of the cards. There is a joining special that's currently going on. This is going to go for the whole month of October. So there's two options on this. So this is for the US, these prices. So you can, one of the options, you can join for $35 plus tax, and you get to choose $125 in product. Or you can pay $99 plus tax, which is the regular price for the starter kit, but get to choose $189 worth of product. The shipping is free on this. In your starter kit, you will get like um, a previous paper pumpkin kit. You'll also get like some business supplies like what do you call it? Um, I gotta stop looking at the comments because I'm getting distracted. I see them come through on my phone, and it's like I'm looking at my phone. I gotta stop. Um, you get business supplies, like you'll get some postcards, you'll get like a set of catalogs. So now we have our annual catalog, and there's also that holiday mini. So you'll get a box of 8 of the annual and then a package of 8 of the mini catalog. Um, Again, a lot of time, to get the starter kit and to become a demo, that does not mean you have to do what I'm doing, where you're building it as a business and, doing videos and holding in-person classes. You can simply be either a happy shopper or a discount shopper, basically getting your crafting supplies at a discount. And the discount starts at 20%. And then once you hit like um, a sales threshold, then that percentage increases to 25%. Um, and then there is a quarterly minimum of $300. Again, this is for the US, but you don't need to meet that until the end of March of next year. And so when it hits the end of March, if you find that maybe you don't want to do this anymore, you don't want to be a demo, then you just drop. I mean, there's no strings attached to it or anything. It's an opportunity where you can get your crafting supplies at a discount. Now, I will tell you, there were a lot of demos that I've seen where they talk about this, where they say that they think the better deal is doing this one here for the $35 because once you become a demo, after you go through all the steps, of filling out whatever you need to fill out, after that, when you place your first order, your stuff is going to be at 20, you're going to get it for a 20% discount. Um, and they've even said that they think this is the lowest it's ever been. No, I will tell you that is not the lowest it's ever been, because in October 2013, when Stampin' Up was celebrating their 25th anniversary, I paid 25 for it, but I did not get $125 in product in my kit. It may have been, do I want to say it was less than 50. It could have been only 25. It wasn't I couldn't put a whole lot in my starter kit. So but yeah, this is what's happening for a whole month of October. So again, there's perks to, when you're a demonstrator. You get to get your products at a discount. You also get to see when new product is coming out, whether it's online exclusive or it's in the catalogs. You get to see it before it goes live to everyone. Usually a month before it goes live, you get the pre-order. So as a matter of fact, in November, there's going to be a new product in the online exclusives. Right now, demonstrators can pre-order that product. And of course, there's also the Stampin' Up events that happen, and then there's like virtual events too that they do that are demonstrator only. So if you have any questions about this at all, if you're here in the US, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Um, Tradition, so Stampin' Up is doing some craft classes. So no, it wasn't last year, it was this year. They did that virtual album retreat with the scrapbooking. This one's going to be for card making. For this class, it's going to be featuring the Traditions of Christmas Sweet collection. Now, for this, the item number for the craft class is 170073. Here in the US, it's $30, and for Canada, it's 41. Became available on the 1st of this month. This live craft class is going to happen on October 23rd. That's my daughter's birthday, at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, and then you'll also be able to watch it later on demand. Now, I did purchase this, so this you actually would add it to your cart if you want to sign up for this. And I've already done that. I actually got the suite, so there's just a couple other things I need to get for creating all these projects. So yeah, so this is out there right now. This is something new that's going to be happening next week, and it's only for 3 days only, from October 6th through the 8th. Stampin' Up! Is going to be having a sale on all of their kits in their kits collection. So it'll range between 10 to 30%. Uh, it's going to exclude Paper Pumpkin, the scrapbooking workshop kits, and also the starter kits. So if there's any kits out there that you like, and this will be a good time to get them because you get them at a discount. As a matter of fact, the new Christmas card kit that just came out, what was it, earlier this week. Um, Really, really pretty. It's got, they're basically white cards, and there's like some like pastel of like Lost Lagoon, I think a little bit of pink in it. And then there's the Nutcracker gift tags. I already have those in my cart, and I got a couple of them in there, especially those Nutcracker tags, because I love nutcrackers. So yeah, that would be a perfect time to get it, where you can get a discount. And again, if you are a demonstrator, you're gonna get that discount on top of the discount that you get as a demonstrator. One other thing that I want to show you. Let me get this out of the way. So one thing that I do want to show you, and I'm pretty sure this is still available. I didn't see that it was gone. So the 12 days of crafting advent calendar. I believe these are still available here in North America. Let me take a quick peek, because when I got that email, Stampin' Up had said that they were selling pretty quick, or they had low inventory in one of the markets. Of course, they didn't say which one, but I'm not seeing low inventory on this. So there have been some demonstrators already who have gotten this, and they've actually done a sneak peek where they opened up all the little doors on this. So I mean, you can see it's not small. It's pretty big. You do get a stamp set. It's actually two things of stamps. So you have some nice greetings here that are a nice size, and then you have some floral images here. And then there's the box. Now, can I open without hitting the phone? Yeah, so there is the box. So the doors are pretty, they're not small, I will tell you that. Again, I did write down, I did watch one of the demonstrators that did the sneak peek on this, and I will, if you haven't and you've been kind of like on the fence about this, I will tell you that you wouldn't be disappointed. There's a lot of great product in this, and none of it's Christmas themed. So the box may look Christmas themed, but what's in it is not. So this is product that it's exclusive to this kit. It's never, none of this product is going to end up in a catalog or in the online exclusives. And I don't think Yvonne's here, but I do have I do have one of these set aside for her. It's funny because what was it? It was only literally a matter of like a day or two prior. She was telling me she was asking me about it and telling me that Spellbinders does something like this, an advent calendar, and she asked me if I would like one. I said, yeah, and she had ordered it, and then literally like a day or two later, this thing came out. So since she did that, I kind of like paid it forward and I got her one too. But from what I'm seeing on the website, it looks like here in North America, I'm not seeing that it's on low inventory. So if it's something that you're on the fence about, you know, get it sooner rather than later, because once it's gone, it's gone. They're not going to have any more once they sell out. Okay, so let's talk about what we are working with tonight. So let me bring this up so I can let you know um, what's going on with this suite. Okay, so the suite is now on the last chance list. So when I picked out what I was going to do for the month, I didn't know that this was going to be on last chance. I mean, we've had it for a while. So it was just a matter of time before it was. So I will tell you, let's see. Um, so the price of the suite itself, it hasn't changed. It's still 95.25. Again, that's here in the US. The designer series paper, uh, what is it, 12.50 is the regular price. It's now marked down to 11.25. The fresh Freesia faux velvet ribbon, that was, what is that, 10.50? It's now marked down to 7.35. They do have the Thankful Garden dies. Those were 35. They're down to 31.50. The Starburst sequins were 7.50. They're now down to 6. And then the Thankful Garden decorative masks. So this does have decorative masks. We are going to be using them tonight. Those are regularly 13. They're down to 11.70. The stamp set is not on sale. It's 24. And of course the bundle, I don't think, yeah, the bundle's not going to be discounted any more than than the 10% that they already did. Um, okay, so the bundle had the stamp set, the dies, and the mask. And so the price for that is $64.75. So if you wanted it, the dies are discounted and so are the masks. Now, I'm not seeing anything as far as the suite goes that it's on low inventory. So if you like the projects, you like the product, um, yeah, I'm just putting that out there. That's the one thing when things go on the last chance list and when they're discounted, you just don't know when exactly, how they're going to sell. I mean, people may grab it up very, very quickly, and next thing you know, it's gone. So, the lovely Garden Suite, I do have a PDF all put together and done. It's already out there on my Google spreadsheet, not on my Google Drive, not my Google spreadsheet. And I do have a link. If you look just above the list of supplies, there is a link that will take you to the Google Drive. And I have all of my Friday Night Live PDFs out there. If you click on the date right here, it's going to actually bring you back to the video that I did using this particular product. So in the PDFs, there's pictures of the projects. I do have the list of like the cardstocks and everything and the papers that I used and the dimensions. There's the picture. So if it's something that, if you like the projects and you want to go back and you want to make them, you got this as a reference, and then you also have the video that you can watch as well. So the products, here's a lovely Garden Designer Series paper. So a lot of floral images in here, and then there's also some black and white on the back side. So you got some white with black polka dots, white with the black outline leaves. You got like a grid pattern, and then of course you got like your floral images on the other side. The colors in here is basic black, blueberry bushel, crushed curry, garden green, fresh freesia, and melon mambo. The ribbon, this is the faux velvet ribbon in fresh freesia, so it's very thin. I did find a card to add this in. As far as tying a bow, I mean, this is what the back of it looks. You're not going to have the velvet on the back side of it, but yeah, so this ribbon, again, that's been marked down. Then these are the Starburst sequins. You have fresh freesia, crushed curry, I think, and then white in here. And then there's the Thankful Garden stamp set. So you have your images, you got some mixed fonts in your greetings. Um, this came out in March. So I didn't get this until they had that sweet sale. What was that, a couple of months ago? So this was actually the first time using this suite in general, other than making the sample projects. I hadn't even used this yet. So this was the first time using it. And then there are the coordinating dies, and then you have two dies that do more of a detailed leaf image. And then there are the Thankful Garden decorative mask. So for the two flowers here, uh, that's what your mask is for. So you have the flower images, and then you also have two of them that are for the leaves on here. Okay, and that's all that's in the suite. So let me kind of take this stuff and let's kind of get going here, because being with this we have the mass. It's going to take a little bit on doing these, because if you watch the video that I did and I didn't clean my blocks, they look like they got red on it, and that was from when I did those Christmas cards in that video. um Cheated and watched. Yes, I love nutcrackers. Okay. I'm just reading some of these comments. Um, oh, Sharon, are you talking about, what do you, I don't need this yet. My first card, I'm not doing that. Are you talking about the advent calendar? Seeing what was in it? I know, I could have, like, not watched, but I did. I didn't tell Yvonne what was in it. I don't know if she watched it or not, but all I told her was, no, nothing's going to be Christmas in it, and that I think she will be pleasantly surprised and she will like the items that are in there. Okay, so my first card, here's your blue card, Terry. So my card base is Blueberry Bushel. It measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of that lovely Garden Designer Series paper. Measures the full size of the card front, so 5.5 by 4.25. I have a piece of basic white for my inside. This is 5.25 by 4. I have another piece of Blueberry Bushel. I got my stamp set sitting on top of my PDF here. So this piece of Blueberry Bushel measures 4 5/8 by 2 7/8. I have cut a piece of that design, another piece of the Designer Series paper. This measures 4.5 by 2 3/4. And then I use the textured notes dies. Textured notes. I used, which one is it? It's this one right here. This is fresh Freesia, so I went ahead and die cut that. We're going to stamp our greeting on here. What's nice, the stamp set is photopolymer, so it's going to make it easy to, I need to move this up because I see that I'm kind of bouncing in and out. You can stop. It's still doing it. Hold on. I hate having to go further away, but I know that has to be annoying to see it do that. And then there's those two detailed leaf images that are in the set of dies. So this piece was die cut out of a scrap piece of garden green. Okay, so we're going to fold and varnish our card base. Okay, fold folder. Okay, and then let's get the inside. Now I didn't do any stamping at all on the inside of my cards. So just take that, put it on the inside. Yep, got your blue, but sadly, we're going to take this piece of designer series paper and we're going to cover the whole front of the card. So got my liquid glue. All right. And then we're going to put it on our card front. Now, I suggest that when you do something like this, don't use this to do it because, yeah, if you don't get it right the first time, it's not easy to take this off without the paper getting all wrinkled or taking a chance to end up ripping it. So now that I do have a little bit sticking out on the edge here, so I'm going to bring in my little mini guillotine paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim that off. So now, that, make sure my card's the right way. Okay, and then I'm going to take this designer series paper and I'm going to attach this to that other piece of blueberry bushel. Okay, and we'll put that right there. All right, and then we're going to take our velvet ribbon and my snips. Now for this, I'm going to just cut a piece. Now I could have wrapped it around and tied a knot in the front, but yeah, when you're kind of under the gun trying to get everything done, it's like, yeah, I just needed to get it done. I needed to do the supply list and with the links, and yeah, so this I'm going to put like right about here. So I'll wrap this around. Okay, and then come around. Okay, so then, now this is a photopolymer stamp set, so I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat and fix that. And then for this one, I want Thankful for You, Friend. Where is it? Right here. And get my block. And then I'm going to stamp this using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Okay, come on. Okay. Ink that up. this will fit right in here like so. Okay. All right, so now I want my dimensionals. And we're going to put some on the back of this. Put here too. We don't want it all saggy, so we're adding a little bit more. Yeah, but you know what, Terry? I'm tired. You know, three days of the week having to get up early. I mean, who am I talking to? You get up much earlier than I do. I don't know how you do it, but man, by the time I get, especially when I have to drive to and from work, by the time I get home, I'm tired. I don't like doing that drive anymore. All right. So I'm going to take this and we're going to center it. My thing would stay straight. Okay, put that about there. Okay, and then for my greeting is going to kind of overhang a little bit. But I am going to put this leaf down first. So I'm going to bring in my glue dots. And hopefully I got enough glue dots here to get through my projects for tonight. If not, I got to go grab another box. So I'm just going to add a couple onto here. I'm not going to put it on every single leaf. Don't do that. Okay. Get off my finger. All right, so this is going to be tucked back behind my greeting like so. Okay, and then on this end, I am going to add 2 dimensionals. Now, because I'm not popping this up, which, you know what, I couldn't I? You know what, let's do that. Because what I did on my sample card, I added like 2, I stacked 2 right on the end here. And this kind of hung off a little bit. But the thing is, because of this ribbon here, if I have that, this wouldn't lay flat. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add my dimensionals on this piece here. And that way that ribbon is not going to cause my thing to look a little lopsided. Okay. Take these off. I should have did it this way to begin with. I didn't think of popping it up because I thought, it's already popped up in that one spot and it just make it a little bit bulky. Okay, so I want this to kind of be centered with that ribbon. Okay, that looks straight. Go down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to bring in these embellishments. So I'm going to pull in some more of that fresh freesia, and I'm going to use the fresh freesia. Now, these yellow ones, I actually use them on my Throwback Thursday video. I did that Inspiration Squad. I used the lion, not the tiger, and the dragon. And so I had used these crushed curry ones. Now I did pick up, thought I picked one up. And there we go. All right. One card done. One down. 2 more to go. And the other 2, we're going to be using the mask on those 2. So put that aside. All right, now let me quickly go grab one thing just in case I need it. Grab another thing of blue dots just in case, because I don't know if I'll have enough to do all the cards. All right, so the second one. Where's Yvonne? This card's for her. It's about the pink. Yes, you are, Terry. 2 a.m. Oof. Yeah, that's brutal, Terry. That's brutal. There's sometimes that's what time, let's just say 2 a.m. That's what time I went to bed last night and the night before. Yeah. Needless to say, I've been tired all day. Okay. So, this card, let me quickly clean off this stamp because I'm going to need this block. Okay. And everything's getting kind of cluttered, like very quickly over here. I don't need this anymore. All right, so let me flip the page to card number 2. Yeah. You know, to be honest with you, Terry, if I sat there and I was listening to myself talk, I'd probably end up falling asleep. Just saying. I'm being honest. Okay. So for this one, we are going to do, was it hydrangea? So these stamps, as you can see, they're not small. I was kind of surprised when I opened this up that these images were as big as they are. So very cool. So I need my big block for this one. Now this just fits on here. So see, that kind of gets on the edge. And it's not going to, it won't stamp right because it'll go over the edge, and that edge is kind of beveled. So, all right. So for my card base, I have Strawberry Slush. It measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I need to, I got my fan going, but it's pointed in the wrong direction, and I'm starting to get a little sweaty here. Okay, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have an now wait, I got some pieces. Okay, so there's a scrap piece of basic white. This is for stamping our images. I have a piece of basic white that's going to go on the inside. That's 5 1/4 by 4. Let me fix this. I'm all like all crooked, and I got a big mess. I have a piece of basic black, measures 5 1/4 by 4, and then another piece of basic white that measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then ahead of time, I had used the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder, so I thought that would be a nice background for this card. And then I have a strip of basic white. This ultimately, after I stamp, I'm going to trim it down, so it's 3 7/8 by 1/2 inch. We're going to stamp our greeting on that. And let's see. Let's go ahead and fold and burnish this. And take our insert and we'll put that in there. Okay, so there we go. So we'll set that aside. And then I'm going to set that aside and this one, because what I want to do is I want to stamp my greeting first. And when I adhere it on here, I want to trim it after I've done that. I didn't exactly do it that way when I did the sample. I kind of already had it together and then I kind of snipped it after the fact. Yeah, that's not exactly the way to do it. Should make it easy on myself, not harder. Okay, so here's our scrap piece of basic white. So this is a whole quarter of a piece of cardstock. Better to have it a little bit bigger than to have it too small. Now, because this is a large image, I'm going to take the ink pad to the stamp rather than the stamp to the ink pad, so that way I know I've gotten all of the areas inked up. Okay. All right, so there's our stamped image. And let me clean this really quick so I don't do something silly and get my white cardstock on there. And then next thing you know, I have smeared black on my pieces. Okay, so let me put that aside for a moment. We do want that to be dry before I start doing the ink blending. So on this one, I want You Make a Difference. And let me get this block again. I gotta clean that scrub, the wet side of that Stampin' Scrub, and now I gotta wash these blocks again too, because that red that I was using for that sweater and the hat, yeah, it was kind of messy actually. Okay, I'm going to stamp this right in the middle. Okay, we'll set that aside. I'm seeing Terry's comment. Telling the gentleman to take notes. Okay. So let me put that in there, kind of get all of that out of the way. Okay, so make sure this is good and dry. Okay, so let me bring in the masks. So with these masks, you get a set of 5 of them. And what's nice about these masks, they do have them numbered so you know what order to go in. So masks 1, 2, and 3, this is for the bloom that we're going to do now, and then this is going to be all for our last card. And then 4 and 5 are the 2 leaf images for each of the flowers. So with this, so for my now if the piece was bigger, once you line up the mask, so this is where it would go. Usually if you put, now I'm going to do it this time because I did not do this when I did my sample. I just kind of tried to line it up. Now it's easy peasy for the first one. However, when you start getting the ones that are a little more detailed, then it's like you have to really like see which way it goes to get it all lined up. Okay, so it's lined up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my pen And I'm going to do this little notch right here. Now this is getting die cut when I'm done, so it's not going to matter if I got any markings over on this cardstock. So only two colors that I am using on this one. Okay, get out of the way. I am using Strawberry Slush and Old Olive. So let me get my blending brush, and then I want a piece of scrap paper, because when you first ink these brushes, you're going to have, when you go to use the brush, you're going to have like this blob of dark color, and we don't, so you see how it looks a little dark right there? So I'm just going to brush some of it off and then line this up. Put that right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to take a light hand to this. You want to go with a soft hand and then just kind of work as much color as you want. Now, for this, I want it to be lighter. Okay. Let me get a little bit darker. Okay, so that's the first one. Now I have some wipes here, and I'll wipe these off after I'm done with them, because they're going to need to be cleaned before I go on to the next card. So we're sticking with the same color. So now number 2, line it up with that little notch. It does make it easier to figure out where exactly it has to place, especially when you start getting into like the next mask where it's more detailed, so it's not going to have the outline of the flower. So now I'm going to add a little bit more ink. So now this area here is going to be a little bit darker than what I first put down. And again, I'm not worried if I go outside of this mask, because again, this flower is going to be die cut. Okay, so let me hold it down here. Try to get this so I don't get ink all over my fingers, but I want to be able to get these flowers up here. Now you can tape these down too. You know, you can take your piece that you stamped on, and you could adhere it down and then tape the mask as well. But I'm just going to be dangerous here and just kind of hold it and hope it doesn't shift on me. Okay, so there is our second one, so a little bit darker. And then we have our more detailed. So we'll line that up. Make sure that they're kind of like in the lines here. Okay, this is the one thing, these two fingers from holding it, they kind of get cramped up. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit darker. See, I know that if Yvonne was here, she'd be oohing and eyeing over this. But chances are she's tending to hubby. She's probably cooking because now that I mean, he's supposed to be moving around, but at some point you got to rest it too. So yeah, she's probably doing the good wifey thing, and she's cooking dinner. And I know she's gonna want, like, later on tonight when she goes to bed, she's gonna put her earbuds in, and she's going to be watching this. And I bet she's gonna start chuckling right now. All right, so we got a little bit darker in here. So there you go. There is a really pretty hydrangea. So nice shading, and we just used one color for that. Now let's get our old olive ink, and I have my blending brush here. Okay, and now let's bring in our leaf mass. The leaves are a little bit easier to line up because there's only 2 masks to this, so you don't have like an overly detailed one. So we'll line this up. Okay. Add some old olive. Okay. So there's the first one. I love, I really do like using the mask. The only thing is that when you're doing a live, yeah, it's going to make, this live's going to go a little bit longer. But hopefully it won't be too bad. I mean, I don't think it'll be too bad. We're like at an hour and 7 minutes, so we're not doing too bad considering the work that we're putting into this. All right. Let me get this lined up. Okay, my card wants to move. Okay. Hold that down. Get a little more ink. Okay. And there we go. There is our hydrangea. So let me close and not stick my finger in the ink pad. Okay, we'll get this out of the way. And let me go and clean these. So to clean those, just going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. And then I have these wipes. These wipes, they're from Costco. And what's nice about these, they're fragrance free. They're supposed to be alcohol free too. And yeah, it's like using a cloth. And they're nice and big too. All right, so let's bring this in. Now when you wipe these, you have to be careful because some of these detail, if you have any pieces of the mask that kind of stick up, you can get caught on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of wipe it on my pant leg, because I want these to be dry, so when I go to do my next card, they'll be good to go. I didn't even know you left, Froggy. Okay. Yeah, that's true, Froggy. I mean, I got now the other ones that we have. What is it? Is it Layers of Beauty, I think? Now, I did do a live with that one, and that one took a while because there were a lot of masks to that one. So wipe that. Let's dry it on my pant leg carefully. Without bending it. Okay, our next one. See, now this has some pieces that I don't want to get my cloth caught on. Okay. But that flower did come out really, really cute. Now the thing is, I saw a lot of samples using this on Pinterest. However, they all, the ones I saw, they were really, really pretty. I was going to do a blue one. However, the ones I really liked used boho blue, and guess what color's retired? So usually it's all current product. Okay. Throw that in there. Okay, we'll set that aside. And that's all dry, so we're ready to go for our next card with those. Okay, so now, since I couldn't do this ahead of time, I do need to die cut it. So let me bring in the dies. And get the one that we need. So we need this one. And I cheat. I have an electronic die cutter over here. I tell you what, it's been a lifesaver with all of these cards, doing the prep work and all that. It is so much easier using this than going through and cranking with the other machine. Okay, so let me line that up. Oops. Okay. So here we go. There is our finished piece. Whoops, then I missed the garbage can. All right. Put that in there. All right, so now let me take my greeting piece here. And I'm going to add some seal to it. And I'm going to line up where I'm going to have this. So we're going to put this like right here. And then this is going to go across here like so. I want to try and get it centered. And then I'm going to get my snips. I changed out my charm to my little pumpkin. And I'm going to trim these edges off. Okay. And then we're going to get our liquid glue. And we'll adhere this to our basic black. Oh, Yvonne's here. I was talking about you. I talked about you a couple of times actually. See, that's what I thought. I said, yep, she's probably making dinner for hubby. Oh, I was going to say, I had to look at your comment again, Yvonne. I thought you were going crazy with Don calling you, and I'm thinking, why would he be calling you? He's in the other room. No, it's like phone, okay, phone calls and Don. Okay. And see, and this is the card that I know that you'd be oohing and eyeing over. Let's shift that over a little bit. Was it your color? All right. Add some seal to this. And we'll put that down on our card base. Like so. Okay. Then I'm going to take my hydrangea and my dimensionals. One here, and here, and here. Okay. Oh, and Yvonne, I did show the hi Tanya, welcome. The advent calendar. So I have one put up for you. So if you go back and you watch the replay later tonight, yeah, there's a lot. There's, oh yeah, and there's also October 6th, 7th, and 8th. They are having up to 30% off on all of the kits collections. And so there's a Christmas card kit out there that I think you probably would like because it's mostly white, and then there's kind of like some pastels with it, like Lost Lagoon. I think there's like Fresh Freesia, or there's a pink bubble bath or something in it. And then there's those Nutcracker, whatchamacallits, uh, gift tags. All right, so now I want to add a black baker's twine bow. I thought about white, but there's a lot of white on here. So we'll tie a bow. So pinned up at the top of the chat box, there is a link that will take you to a Google spreadsheet. At the end, what I do, I do a wheel of names. I do a drawing for where you can win one of the 3 cards that I make tonight. It doesn't matter where you live. I can mail cards anywhere in the world. I just can't, mail out any product. So, okay, so I have my bow, and I'm going to take another glue dot. I'm almost done with this roll. And put that right in my glue dot. And kind of wrap it around itself. Okay, and then I will stick that right there. And then I will trim it like so. Okay, and then, so the embellishments that come with this suite, I thought this needs a little bit more. So between the yellow and the purple, it wasn't going to work. So I decided to go with the classic rhinestones. I think this is perfect to go with this. So add a few of these. So put one there. And another one right up here. And then we got a teeny tiny one that we will put right up there. So there we go. There is our second card. You know, actually, we're not doing bad at all. I was thinking that this video was going to go really, really long because of doing the masking part, but there's the pink cardamom. And I'm pretty sure that the next time you come to visit that, yes, that's the second card. That's the first card. So really showcasing more of the designer series paper. And then there's this one. So I will tell you guys the next time when Yvonne's here, she's going to want to play with this, and she's going to have very inky fingers afterwards. I almost guarantee it. Okay, so now we're going to do our final card. You know, and I think I started, again, squirrel brain that I am. I started mentioning that pinned up at the top of the chat box, there is a link to take you to a Google spreadsheet. If you add your name to that, I do a wheel of names where you can win one of the 3 cards that I'm making tonight. Again, it doesn't matter if you live outside of the US. I can mail a card anywhere in the world. If you have any issues or any problems at all trying to access that and adding your name and you're not able to, just simply say something in the chat box and somebody here will be more than happy to add your name to that list. All right, so let me kind of move some things out of the way here because I am seriously running out of room. Okay, so card number 3. So now this card here that I am doing, a little bit about it. If you go to the Stampin' Up website and you look at the sample cards that they have for this suite, this card is actually kind of cased off of a box that they have for sample. So instead of creating a box, I basically made a card out of it. So I'm going to place that on there. And I'm going to get a block with the With Love. So we got that situated. Okay, so final card. I will tell you I am doing a whole lot better when it comes to using designer series paper because Lord knows I have a lot of it and I need to get better at using it. Okay, so for my card base, this is Garden Green, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have, okay, make sure I get these pieces right. So this is this basic white is 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to be for the inside of our card. I have a 1/4 sheet of white cardstock. This is what we're going to stamp and then do some ink blending on. I have a piece of basic black. This measures 5 1/4 by 4. This is kind of like the same matte sizing as the last card. And then the designer series paper is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Out of a scrap piece of Garden Green, I die cut. This is from the Nested Essentials dies. This is in the annual catalog. And then in this set of dies, there are 2 of these detailed leaves. So I have die cut 2 of these. This is out of basic black cardstock. And then I have die cut 3 of these. Okay, so let's fold. Actually, you know what? Let's stamp first so that way we give our ink time. Okay, what did I do with it? So that way I give my ink some time to dry. Now I'm going to bring in my scrap paper here because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp this twice. I want the full floral image, but then I also want an extra one of these flowers. So you have the die that'll die cut this whole thing out, but then there's an extra die that'll die cut this smaller flower right here. So I'm not going to fully stamp it twice. I'm going to do one full one and then part of it just to capture that flower. Okay. And again, because this is larger, I'm going to take my ink pad to it. One of the other things I could have done too is I could have taken one of the images and actually colored it using the Stampin' Blends, but to be honest with you, I kind of like using the mass. Okay. Yeah, Vaughn, I agree. You are challenged with ink. I think you end up with more ink on your fingers than you do on the cardstock. One time, it's like I got white door jambs, and I came into the room and I went to walk out, and I'm like, Yvonne was here. There was pink on the door jamb, and I'm like, yep, she was here. All right, so again, I just want this one flower here, so I'm going to come over here, stamp that down. Okay, put that aside. I'm going to put that aside, let that dry some before I start adding ink to it. And we'll close this up. The other thing that I will do as far as stamping goes, let me get this again. And then this little label here, this garden green label. I'm going to stamp my with love sentiment in garden green ink. I can talk. And I'm going to stamp this more towards the left because this upper right hand corner is going to be tucked under one of the flowers a little bit. So there is the greeting. Put that aside. Okay. Then I will go ahead and I will fold and burnish this. And then get our piece of basic white. Put that inside. Like so. Okay, and then I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm going to adhere that to my piece of basic black. Now the flowers, when I go to do the ink blending on those, I'm pretty much going to mimic the coloring of the flowers that are in the paper. So you see white and crushed curry, but I'm going to use crushed curry for the whole card. I'm just going to be very light with adding the ink on the first round. So let me take this and we'll put this on here. Let's see, like so. Okay, put that aside. All right, now what do I want? I want this, and I'll get another piece of scrap paper for this. Not that I don't think I'm going to need it, but just in case. All right, so now just two colors on this one. We're going to use garden green for the leaves and then crushed curry for the flowers. All right, so let's bring in our mask. We're going to start with mask number 1. So we're using this one here. Now I'm not going to create the little notch because I also have to then line this up over here to do this one little flower there. Okay, so let's open this up. And let's see. I don't know where the other paper went. And now I got my little blending brushes here. Okay, so my crushed curry. You don't want the big blob, so you can see you definitely want to brush off some of that ink before you take it to your cardstock. Let me get this lined up. Okay, and then just really, really light hand on this layer. Okay. And then we'll line this up over this flower. Okay. And put my finger in the ink. And we do that one. Okay, so there's the first one. And then we're going to bring in number 2. And you can see you got your detailed ones, and you got to really look at it to see if you got it lined up in the right spot. Bring it down a little bit. All right, so more ink. Okay. And then let's line this one up. Okay, which way does it go? I think it goes this way right here. Okay. Then mask number 3. This is the final one for our flowers. So now to line this one up. Nope, don't go that way. We need all our little marks inside our flowers. Which way does this go? So when this happens, what I do is I bring in my first one and I kind of line it up and kind of see what direction that the notch is, so it's pretty much straight, just up a little bit. Let's see, I gotta hold my cardstock down. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so now this layer is going to be a little bit darker. It's going to be very dark. Okay, and then let's see, we got this one over here. So this is going to kind of go about here. Yeah, that line is not. Okay, that's part of the second flower, that's why. Okay. All right, so now let me get these brushes out of the way so I don't get ink all over me. And there's the yellow part. Now that I put that aside, I need the leaf parts on here. Okay, so this is not the leaf. That's not the leaf. This is the leaf. So number 4. Okay. And the leaves are a little bit easier to get lined up. Okay. And where's the green? Okay. Okay. And one more. Line this up. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right, so now to die cut this. Close up the ink pad. Let's get that out of the way. I'll bring this in. Okay, and then the dies. Okay, so not that one. We want this die right here, and then again there's that individual one to die cut that smaller flower. So I'll put that aside. We'll line this up. So, and then this one, where does this one go? Goes right here. Okay, so I'll put a cutting plate on top. Okay. go. There's our full flower, and then there's our smaller one, and we're gonna place that like right over here on our image. So let's take that, get this out of the way, and now we got to assemble our card. Hold on. Things are getting a little crazy here because there's too much stuff on this desk. Okay, so now we're going to assemble. So I am going to take my floral image and I'm going to kind of place it there, and this is going to help me in where I'm going to place all of these black leaves. So I'm going to start with one of these larger ones, and I'll add a glue dot to each of these leaves. Okay, and this one I'm going to add kind of like over in this corner. Like so. Okay, and then one of these smaller ones. Let's see, I'll put one on the top. And then these larger leaves, I'll add one. Okay, and then this is going to go kind of like up in this corner. Now, it may look like a mess underneath, but a lot of this is, all of this in the center is going to get covered up by the die. So, hello, Don. Okay, so then this one, I kind of go over here, like so. I think that's going to cover that, right? Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then got two more of these. And right there. And we'll add this one right over here, and then one more. I know it looks like a bit of a hot mess, but it'll look much better after I get all of these pieces on here. Okay, and then this one is going to kind of come down right there. Okay, so we got all that there. Let's get our bigger piece here and our dimensionals. Okay, now we will take this and we will place this right here, and then I will take this flower, we're going to pop this one up too. Okay, and then this one is going to go right here, and then on my grading piece, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. And then we're going to kind of tuck this under here like so. Make sure that's straight. Actually, I may need another one underneath. Right there, because it's a little lopsided. There we go. Okay, and then for the embellishments, I'm going to use those starburst sequins, and this time I'm going to use these white ones. And one up there. Okay, there we go. Not too bad considering the cards that we were doing. Let me kind of move some of this stuff out of the way. So there is the third card. Again, if you go to the website and you bring up the suite, you will see that this is kind of like one of the samples. However, it's a gift box that they created using cardstock and the designer series paper. And I just basically took that design and I made it into a card. So kind of came close. There's a little more yellow in these flowers than what you see in the paper, but very close. Okay, so that's our third card. And we got another one. Tammy, welcome. And we have our pink flower. So again, using the mask, using just strawberry slush ink on that. And then the first one we did more of showcasing the designer series paper. Okay, so again, I'm going to kind of tidy up a little bit here because it's a little bit of a hot mess. So if you are new coming in, what I do on all of my Friday Night Lives, I do a giveaway of one of the cards that I have made tonight. I do have pinned up at the top of the chat box. There is a link that will take you to a Google spreadsheet where you can add your name to that list. And then what I do is I take those names, I transfer them into a wheel of names. And then, yeah, when I choose your name, you basically, well, if you're one of the first two people, you choose which card that you want, 1, 2, or 3. And yeah, so if you click on that link, you can add your name to the spreadsheet. If you have any issues or any problems at all doing that, just say something in the chat box and somebody will be more than happy to get your name added into that. So I'm going to kind of tidy up just a little bit here so I can make room because I have to bring in my laptop in order to do this. And again, for all of my Friday Night Lives, there's got to be well over 80 of these things out there. I do create PDFs of the projects I make, so there's a link right there that's going to take you right back to this video. There's the list of supplies, and then there's pictures and dimensions of all the cardstock and papers that I have used. So the link to that, it's just above the list of supplies in the description. And so, yeah, they're free. So if you like the projects and you want to recreate them, you can just click on the link and it'll take you to the video and you got everything there. So let me kind of move everything here so I have some room. And then when we're done, I'll just take the time to clean up. So at the same time, I'm going to see what we have for comments. And bring, wow, this is all wonky. All wonky and crooked. All right. So let's see. Get my mouse working here. If you like the projects, where is my mouse? Why is I'm not seeing my mouse moving here. If you like the projects that I made tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. And if Where is my mouse? Okay, there it is. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me in not only growing this channel and getting videos out there for some new viewers, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business as well. So comments, likes, shares, all of that really does help, and I truly appreciate it. Right now we have on here Froggy, Becky, Sharon, Tracy, and Tammy. Is there anybody else who would like to be added to the spreadsheet? Thank you, Becky. Good night, Don. Thank you, Tammy. Um, who's missing? Yvonne, you want to be added? Uh, who else? Sharon, is Sharon still here? Oh yeah, Sharon's name's already on here. You know, you think I could get this like all lined up and so that way it's straight, but I don't know. It just seems like it never happens. Uh, let's see. Is there anybody else? Okay, Terry's on here. Going once, going twice. We got anybody else? Carol, you want to sit this one out, or would you like to be added? Oh, Yvonne got to finish dinner, and she'll be back. Oh, wait a minute. There's conversation going on here between Yvonne and Terry. Yeah, Don. Now the National Guard is here. Thank you. Get this city cleaned up. I'm tired of all this crime that's going on around here. Oh, Terry, yes. I would like you to be closer. Okay. Yeah, again, I mentioned at the very beginning, after I had picked all the products for this month, yeah, that's when they came out. I saw that this suite ended up on the last chance list. Now, everything in this suite, except for the stamp set, the bundle, and the whole suite itself, as far as price wise, their regular price, everything else, the ribbon, the embellishments, the paper, the masks, and the dies, they're all discounted. So if this looks like something that that you would like and you hadn't gotten it yet, now's a good time because, like I said, it's discounted. I'm not seeing no low inventory or anything. I think, so we have everybody now, Froggy, Becky, Sharon, Tracy, Tammy, and Terry. Because if that's it, I'm going to add everybody. Hold on, let me, and add everybody's name to this wheel here, and then we're going to get going on doing our drawing for one of tonight's cards. So let me just kind of move these up out of the way. And if you're new here, I don't have that fancy software, so I have to actually bring in my laptop so you can see the screen. And I also got to get the lights out of the way so they're not glaring on there. And let me bring in my little Post-it notes and my pen. And let me go back to the chat box. Hey, Cynthia. Cynthia, would you like to be added? I'm just about ready to do the drawing, and these are the cards that I have made tonight. I used the, what is it? The Lovely Garden. Is that what I'm using here? And these are the projects we did. If you'd like to be added, just let me know. I haven't spinned yet. Okay. All right. So here we go. You can see I made everything look bigger. Just so I didn't have to always go into the screen to see what people were saying. Okay, so here we go. Now, if I choose you and you're new here and I have never mailed you anything, Tracy, you're up in that pinned comment in the chat box. My email address is there. Please send me an email if you can this evening, because tomorrow when I go out, I will go and mail these cards out. So if I never mailed you anything and your name comes up, number 3. Okay, you got it. Let's move it over here. Okay. Ooh, Froggy. Well, that's gonna be 2 cards we're gonna kind of like hold. I gotta make sure I keep them in one place that I remember. Soon as that strike is done, then I can get these mailed out to you. You got it, Cynthia. So everybody, if you could please pray for Cynthia. Next Thursday, the 9th, she's having shoulder surgery. So definitely praying for you, Cynthia, that everything goes well and you have a quick recovery. Card number 2. Okay. And then our last card, so the one where we featured all the designer series paper. Sharon. Okay, where's my little... Oops. Okay, so let me put this back and let's kind of wrap up. Again, tomorrow I will be I will I will be going live tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So tomorrow is World Card Making Day. I would have liked to have done an in-person class, however, it's not going to work out, but I decided that I will come on. This is the kit that Stampin' Up! Is going to be featuring in their World Card Making Day event. And I am going to assemble this, everything from the holder, the box, whatever, and the 10 cards that are in it. So again, I'm going to be live at 6 p.m., so an hour earlier. Again, everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. It does help me, like I said, not only growing this channel, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business as well. Another thing, I do have a monthly newsletter. I did send one out on October 1st, and there's a lot of stuff in there. The Stampin' Up! Has a lot of stuff going on. I also have my video schedule out there for the whole month, so you know what it is that I'm going to be working with on what day. So if you would like to subscribe to that, in the description of the video, there is a link. It'll say newsletter. If you click on that, you just add your name and your email address. And since we're really close to the beginning of the month, I will send that out to you. Now, I will be sending another like modified newsletter on Sunday because Stampin' Up! Is going to have a 3-day sale on their kits collection. So all the kits are going to be anywhere from 10 to 30% off. So I'll kind of send that out to everyone. I typically only do one, but when there's some kind of special sale or whatever that happens after the fact, I like to let everybody know about it. Um, let's see, next week, what am I doing next week? So for next Thursday, I'm going to be using the Pattern of Friendship. That's another online exclusive item that I haven't had a chance to use. So I believe it's still available. It just went on the last chance list. So that video will post on Thursday and should be on time too. And then next Friday, I'm going to do the On the Go suite. This is another suite that online exclusive, and it's on the last chance list now. There's that, and I don't think he's here, but I'm going to put this out there for you guys that are still on, or if you watch the replay. So some of you, we have a spreadsheet where some of us, we do cards for each other, like, recognize birthdays and, and if, people, you know, just like a random act of kindness type of thing with cards. So on the 13th of this month, guys, if you want to do this kind of like as a little surprise, I know that Terry made mention of it about sending a card to Dom because he just recently had knee replacement surgery actually on Wednesday. His birthday is Monday the 13th of October. So for those of you that are on the list, if you would like to surprise him with a birthday card, just use Yvonne's address and he'll get it. So with that, everybody, okay, I am done. And let's see. And again, I'll be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. And so everyone have a wonderful evening. Have a great weekend. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.